Okay, so welcome back to the Corin Grillo Show. I am chiming in here real fast because I just had whew, some wisdom just dropped through this morning and I need to share it with you. And these were the words that spilled and filtered through my brain. When you don't know how to command your demons will command you. Just saying. I'm going to say it one more time. When you don't know how to command your demons will command you. So you might be going, well, what exactly does she mean by that? She's talking about my inner demons. Here's the truth. You cannot not believe in the demons if you believe in angels. So if you believe in angels, it only makes sense that the other side exists too. So depending on the culture that you're from, they could come by many different names. And I'm not saying uh, that the dark does not have a purpose. I believe it does have a purpose. And if you've listened to, I think it was the Secrets of the Holy Guardian Angel Part 2, there's one little slice of what I believe about dark experiences and um, demonic experiences. Now, I have encountered very demonic beings. Okay, it started back in the early days when I was doing a lot of drugs. When I was 19, 20. And because I didn't know that I was a channel, I didn't know that I was like on the psychic side. I didn't know about my grandfather. My grandfather was a psychic medium and a channel out in Puerto Rico. So I didn't know that. So when you don't know your power, you don't know who you are, and you get all up into some weird business, the weird business gets all up into you. So let me say it again. When you do not know how to command your demons will command you. Okay. And sometimes these little dark uglies, and I hate to make a judgment like that because I just I've made peace with a lot of things along the way. Um, but sometimes sometimes they just show up as inner voices, you know, and they tend to love disruption. They can appear to be inner voices that block your dreams. Those voices, the ones that fill your head with all kinds of madness, like self doubt and I'm not good enough, and just I know I'm not good enough. I'm excessively not good enough. I hate myself. I feel like an imposter. Mm. And there's so many more, you know, those ones that tell you you can't attract a better mate. There's nobody that's going to love you. All of those things, right? If you do not know who you are and how you work, you will believe that those voices are actually yours. And I'm here to say all humans are channels, okay? Not a lot of people know that. You're not conscious of it. But most people, because they don't know that they are born with the capacity to channel spirit, just like I didn't know back in the day when I was opening up my psyche to all kinds of stuff and didn't have the tools to heal or protect or to transform dark energy. All If you don't know, you become slightly more susceptible to these dark energies, right? Now, I'm not saying humans don't have natural depression, we don't have our own shit, but the thing about these demons, just like with angels, we hire angels, and the more and more that we hire angels and call angels in, the more that we lighten up, the more that we start seeing beautiful things, our perspective changes, the more that we notice how supported we are, the more resources that come to us accidentally without having to work so hard for them. And again, not saying life isn't still hard, but when we work with angels or any kind of benevolent beings. Things can take a radical change, right? And I know a lot of you, thousands of you from all over the world, I get emails from everywhere just getting their mind blown with my book, The Angel Experiment, or Angel Wealth Magic. So, for those of you who have had the angel experiences, you know how how we work. It's like a ritual process. We call them in, we do an invocation. And so, just like you can hire angels, you can also hire the other ones, right? And again, whatever you want to call them, each culture calls them something different. They're trickster spirits. That's kind of like my favorite word for them, little trickster spirits, okay? And they are there. Their job is to trick you, okay? They're trying to trick you. And what are they trying to trick you into? Well, a lot of times they're just hungry. And I mean that quite pretty literally. These beings, now let's look at angels real quick. Angels feed on love, compassion, openness, right? They are beings often that appreciate creation and beauty, joy, grace. These are words that are often associated with some of even the major archangels, okay? So that is, in a sense, what their specialty is. And that is how you honor and give grace, give offering to these angels through calling in joy into your mind, calling in beauty, calling in more graciousness, more grace in your life, being more gracious, opening up your mind and your heart to things that are different from you, to people that are different to you, to learn to see a new perspective on things that you previously found repulsive, right? So, angels help us lighten our vibe altogether. There's a lot more that they do, however. Um, and I have a talk coming up where I'm going to talk about how they also help us expand our consciousness and actually experience Christ consciousness. There's a lot of words for that too, depending on where you're from, right? Illumination, self realization, union with God, the Holy Grail. So, angels can help us with that, and we have to hire them and sometimes actively work with them through prayer, right? Or whoever your benevolent awesomeness is. It's Jesus, beings of light, the Great Spirit, um, nature, Big Mama, they're all unified, right? They're all connected. And depending on the medicine that you gravitate towards, there is always a direct path to the capital love L. And when I say that, I mean divine love. So no matter which path you choose, if you choose love, love will find you eventually. Okay. So I'm talking about who you're hiring. And if you don't command your demons, they will command you. So you also hire the dark side very often. A lot of it is unconscious. And if we really look at what something like quote unquote what Christians call sin is, for me, what sin is when you are doing things that are out of integrity from your heart, right? Like just doesn't feel good. Anything that you are ashamed of or feel guilty about, sin, right? You remember, and the keywords there is you, what you feel ashamed of or guilty about. When you move from the heart, and what I believe integrity is when you are led uh, into your own journey and you begin really following your inside and quit worrying about right or wrong or bad, but you just do you. And again, you seek love and you do things that bring out love as opposed to collapse you down and help you feel more ashamed of yourself. when we do things that make us feel ashamed of ourselves and we consistently do them, then we begin hiring in the other side. And I'm telling you this part here because I want you to understand that if you are channeling, and I'm here to tell you, you are, I want you to be aware of whom you're channeling and of whom you're being a channel for. Because what the demons feed on is fear, is paranoia, okay? Is self-doubt. And those who propagate fear-based agendas, those who propagate hate, that is just the most delightful food for the other ones. And it's not like the demons are going to show up with their big ass trident and a beautiful goatee and red fiery skin. Of course, that's not how they're going to show up. That's not how tricksters show up. They show up more subtly, you know? Wolves in sheep's clothing. So be mindful of how the little tricksters show up for you because it is subtle. And a lot of times they show up with these excruciatingly negative thoughts inside of you, you know? And what they're doing is they're gatekeeping your next level of love, of divine power, of soulfulness, of connection, of community, of a more meaningful, heart centered heart. They are gatekeeping this from you because if you slay that particular demon, they starve, or perhaps they transform into something else. So please don't listen to the tricky little voices inside of you. They are just little bullies trying to stop you, truly. And for me, it's nothing to be afraid of because, again, if you are in love, opening up the field of love, if love is the direction and you begin to know love in a completely, totally different way, if it kisses you, that divine kiss, if you receive that divine kiss, you become way less afraid of the dark side. And to you, this is my perspective. This is what I see. Schoolyard bullies, not really that scary, okay? Schoolyard bullies, extra sneaky, kind of like hitchhikers, you know, dark hitchhikers. That kind of connect with you and if you're an empath and you have natural spiritual gifts, they might mess with you even more like they did with me. I wanted to die most of my life because I did not understand my channeling abilities or my spiritual abilities. I didn't understand it. I didn't know about it. And therefore, they were commanding me. And I don't want that to happen to you. This is so much of the reason why I train people in intuitive stuff, you know, why I have trained people all over the world for almost a decade now, maybe even over a decade, right? On how to take command of their spiritual gifts. You know, people think, oh, if I practice this spiritual stuff, I'm gonna leave myself open to demons. Honey, my friend, it is part of the human experience. You are already susceptible. We are already susceptible. I'm not saying that to scare anybody, but like, no doy. Look around you. Look what's happening in the world. Is that the act of benevolent goodness? No. Okay. But if you're a gifted person, it can really come for you if you don't have your spidey senses intact. You don't know how to really stay grounded, first of all. And if you continue to do things and behaviors that kind of make you feel funky too much. And I'm not saying stop all the behaviors, just feel better about them if you're going to do them. You can kill off the god of shame at any point. Okay. We are not looking for perfection. I am not talking about you having to be perfect. That is some colonizing, religious colonizer bullshit. And I'm not saying perfection is required, okay? But watching your mind when you beat yourself up, you are in the act of praying and calling in and hiring the other side, okay? So there's a lot of different ways and strategies, a lot of different tools and techniques you can use to really own your power, call back your power, and quit letting these little playground, they're they're playgrounds. These little schoolyard bullies, their playground is in your head, okay? That's why it's so subtle. That's why you think it's you giving yourself all the abuse, but it's either the old voice of one of the adults in your life that you just kind of decided to keep that keep that keep that negative speech alive, or it's could be one of the other guys, right? Could be one of the other trickster spirits that are having a snack in the playground of that belongs to you. You are the authority of your space. So please quit feeding the demons. They're sneaky, but only if you can't see it and know them. Okay? So it's time to take your power back. I hope you enjoyed this little chime in here. And I want to let you know I'm doing a Q&A event for the Angel Alchemy Academy, which is my 6-month intuitive healing training. I keep forgetting to like hop online and talk about it even in my podcast. But the doors are opening next week. But next week, Corinne Grillo at Corinne Grillo. You can get to it at CorinneGrillo.com/QA. It's happening next Monday. And you can sign up and look at the information there. So Corinne Grillo /QA. You can check it out, and I'll leave it also in the notes. Um, and it's going to be a live, intimate gathering there. And we're going to be talking about how angels can help us expand our consciousness and a little more about the other side if you're curious. So come ask me any questions. You'll be able to ask me anything if you want. So please join me there if you're interested. The Angel Alchemy Academy is opening on next Wednesday. So I hope you are already joining us. And if you're not, please check it out because that whole training is about helping each of us step into and remember our authority and our power. And it is deeply rooted in opening up to love. And again, big L, the big love, because it is through that power that miracles are truly possible. Okay. Miracles are truly possible. I have seen many, and you guys know I'm also very grounded, okay? And I'm not a bullshitter. Miracles are real. I've experienced many of them. I've done this through the angel work, and I've done this by practicing the strategies that I teach in that training, by bringing folks together to practice with each other. And so I hope you join us. And if you don't, you can just come to the Q&A because it's free. But remember what I said. Quit feeding the demons. Your mind is your mind, and you get to choose what kind of channel you want to be. So remember, talk to the angels daily. Call in the sun, call in the light, call in the power of the land and the trees and the flowers around you. Whatever your medicine is, it works all the same because it's all the same thing. So May love find you so deeply. And gosh, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. May love find you. And may you be blessed. And mm, please call on the light. You are so deeply loved. Love is here for you right now. It's nothing you have to fight for, it is your birthright. So, with that, ends today's message. Angel Juju coming at you.